Hey guys, another Geek123 here. And well, yeah, I admit I have taken a break for a few more weeks from reacting to Nostalgia Critic's Spider-Man videos, but I'll be back reacting to his Amazing Spider-Man reactions very soon. Anyway, today I think it would be a cool idea to just do a quick video ranking the Spider-Man cartoons from worst to best, since on the CCM Sean Holiday channel, I just uploaded from me writing the script my review of Spectacular Spider-Man, so please check that out. Anyway, I'll be ranking the cartoon, then explaining what it was, if you don't know what it's about, and then I'll give my quick opinion on the cartoon. So let's get into number 9. So number 9 is Marvel's Spider-Man, which sadly no it isn't a cartoon of the PS4 game. It is the opposite in quality than that. Overall, it's a replacement for the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, which is finished. This show first premiered on August 19th, 2017 on Disney XD. It also had a second season which premiered on June 18th, 2018, with now having a third season which is currently airing with the name Spider-Man Maximum Venom. Overall to me, I just don't like this show. I don't like its writing, I don't like its animation, I don't really like anything about the show. I know that animation has slightly improved with its new season, introducing more Marvel characters alongside the famous villain, but didn't they not do the same stuff in Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon they made before this? At least there, the characters were done mostly how they were in the comics. Here, everyone is just a smart scientist who always fucks up stuff just for Peter to fix. Anyway, let's just move on. So number 8 is the cartoon simply named Spider-Man that came out in 1981. This was the second cartoon focused on the character overall after the 60s cartoon. The show premiered on the New World Television Network between September 12th of 1981 to March 30th, 1982, with it oddly being bought out by ABC, which is owned by Disney, which now makes it available on Disney+. This may be why this is so damn low on my list, but this cartoon is one I have watched the least. However, since I do have Disney+, I gave it a few episodes a chance, and well, I may be wrong to some people, but I just think it's a rehashed version of the 60s Spider-Man cartoon, but it's for the 80s. There isn't anything new to me other than improvements in animation and a tiny little bit in the voice acting. Anyway, let's just move on. So number 7 is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. This cartoon ran between 1981 to 1983 and served to be a crossover series for the 1981 Spider-Man series, and it featured Iceman, an original character for its time, Firestar. I watched this a little bit more compared to its original show, but again, since it was bought out by ABC, I watched it on Disney Plus a little bit more. And well, it's just the same show, even with it having the same type of logo. However, I loved how this was the first time we saw the character Firestar, and even gave Iceman more popularity for his time, which did give the show some more flavour, which is why I think it lasted a year longer than its original show. Anyway, let's just move on. So number 6 is Ultimate Spider-Man. This Spider-Man cartoon featured Brian Michael Bendis, Paul Dini and the Man of Action Group writing on the show. The show first aired in early 2012 and debuted alongside the second season of The Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes as a part of the Marvel block. The series ended on January 7, 2017, with even having the third season named The Web Warriors and the final season named Spider-Man vs. the Sinister Six. Overall, the show had 26 episodes in each season. Overall, I am not the biggest fan of the show due to it mostly having jokes that are aimed for children, but that's what mostly the audience is for. But I do respect the show for still having its dramatic moments, which usually works, while having brilliant writers remain faithful to the comic book counterparts, which also introduces other Marvel heroes which cameo on the show. Anyway, let's just move on. So number 5 is Spider-Man Unlimited. The show overall was shortly run and was made by Saban Entertainment. The show premiered in 1999 and it had a fair amount of ratings. However, it was overshadowed by Pokemon and Digimon, even its DC counterpart, Batman Beyond, which all of them cartoons had a massive amount of ratings. This made Fox Kids, who aired the show, cancel the project after only having a few episodes actually air, and then they aired the rest of the episodes between 2000 and 2001, which left the show on a cliffhanger. Overall to me, yeah, it's not as good as the shows I just mentioned, but overall I think the show did an overall good job making a futuristic show for the character, but it did still have its problems in writings with its Peter Parker. And while I dig the suit, that's hated a lot by a lot of people, and even its cape, but yet again character designs aren't so good like Carnage's. Anyway, let's move on. So number 4 is the 60s Spider-Man cartoon. This show ran between 1967 to 2070. The cartoon was the first star in the recently new character for its times, and was partially produced by Canada for its voice acting and America for its animation. The first 2 seasons aired on ABC and the third ran on multiple networks. Overall, this show was well remembered for its famous theme song and the memes that spanned out in the early 2010s and late 2000s. This show had janky animation, jokes a little too much in scenes, and while the voice acting isn't the best, but overall a show in the 60s that only ran 5 years after the character was first introduced, it does a fairly well done job. Anyway, let's move on. So number 3 is Spider-Man the New Animated Series. This cartoon was an American and Canadian series. The show was made using CGI rendered in cel shading, making it the only 3D Spider-Man cartoon we have. The show only ran for 13 episodes, however, premiered on July 11, 2003, and it was broadcasted on MTV and YTV, which is now because it's not that new to people, it's just called the MTV Spider-Man to some people. The show mainly got cancelled for having fairly good ratings, but it still wasn't good enough by how much the studio was paying for the animation. However, the show has boosted in popularity over the years, with petitions and hashtags for it to come back, which legally, unfortunately, I don't think can even happen. But anyway, in October 2018, Viceland did pick up the series to be played on random networks in America 15 years later, showing how much of a cult classic the show is. Overall, being inspired a lot by the Ultimate Comics and the Raimi trilogy, I really dig this show and its 2000s themes that was shown from its animation and its underrated theme song. The animation is very shitty for our standards now, but for a CGI TV show in 2003, it really isn't that bad, with even having the writing to me being great, showing reinvented versions of our old characters while introducing original characters. Anyway, let's move on. So number 2 is the cartoon, again just named Spider-Man. However, it can be known as Spider-Man the Animated Series. The show ran on Fox Kids Network on November 19th, 1994 to January 31st, 1998, with it even having many reruns, with it even appearing on Disney XD a few times. The show overall has 5 seasons and 65 episodes, which was thankful to the producer and story editor John Semper Jr. with Marvel Films Animation. Overall, this show is a great showcasing of a college student Peter Parker being Spider-Man, overall showing a massive catalogue of characters and having a fair few crossovers, which all respected the Spider-Man comics before this very well, with even having an amazing Stan Lee cameo in its final episode. Anyway, let's move on. So number 1 is Spectacular Spider-Man. This show was developed by Greg Weisman and Victor Cook. The show is mainly based on my favourite run in Spider-Man comics, which is the original The Amazing Spider-Man run, with the show even being set in high school. It also takes stuff from the Raimi movies and the Ultimate Spider-Man comics as well. The show first premiered on March 8, 2008 during the Kids WB block on the CW. The second season then aired on Disney XD and ended its run on November 18th. A third season was planned but cancelled before production due to legal problems between Disney, who bought the animated TV rights of Spider-Man, and Sony, who created the show. Overall, I have uploaded a review on the show on the CCM Seanhology channel on the 25th of June, but overall to me this is probably the best adaptation of the character, and overall it's based on the best comic book run of the character. Anyway guys, that is my ranking of all the Spider-Man cartoons. Do you agree with me about the Spectacular Spider-Man show being the best in the Spider-Man cartoons? Because honestly to me, the animated series is very up there with it as well. Do you agree about Marvel's Spider-Man being on the bottom? Because I know that's quite a controversial show to Spider-Man fans and Marvel fans. And overall, what are your rankings? Please comment down all your opinions down below. I would love to hear what you think. And if you'd like to give me some feedback in the comments as well, please do, it would help a lot. If you like the video, please like. If you dislike the video, please dislike. It gives me feedback to improve. And again, if you've been watching this content for a while now, please subscribe, it would mean a lot. And overall, if you want some video editing done for yourself between 1 to 10 minutes, which is in a cheap value, please head over to my Fiverr. The link is always in the description below. So anyway, thank you so much guys for watching my video, and peace.